welcome back to IQRA IAS, and I hope your new year is going amazing and you're studying well. So, as always, without wasting any time, let's just directly get into it. Today, we'll be covering current affairs from 4th of January to 10th of January. And the first topic only came up with the positive news last week, that is, inauguration of Kochi-Mangalore natural gas pipeline. Right? Let us know the feature of this gas pipeline and its benefits. But before we get there, let us first look back at its history. So this pipeline was launched in 2009 and was to be commissioned in 2014. But there were many hurdles, both from the political parties and from the public as well, that this project kept on delaying. Like, for example, there were issues of land acquisition, there were environmental issues, because this Kochi to Mangalore, I'll just show you in the map. This region, Kochi to Mangalore, is a coastal area जहाँ पे बहुत सारी rivers भी pass होती है. Not just that, there are many national parks too situated in this region, right? But finally, after juggling through all of this, the project got completed in November 2020 last year, right? This development is very important for our country as we are trying to rely less on the oil and we are exploring the potential of gas as an alternative fuel. And if you remember, there's an important milestone our government is trying to achieve, which is called One Nation, One Gas Grid. So this project is going to help us achieve One Nation, One Gas Grid project also. So this 450-kilometer pipeline has been built by GAIL, that is Gas Authority India Limited, which is the Indian Public Sector Natural Gas Processing and Distribution Company, which is headquartered in New Delhi, right? Talking about the benefits of this pipeline, so this pipeline will supply environment-friendly and affordable fuel to the households, and not just to the households, but also to the transportation sector and to the commercial and industrial units across the district along the pipelines. तो जो भी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स यहाँ पे फॉल करते हैं फ्रॉम कोची टू मैंगलोर, वो इसको फ्यूल्स प्रोवाइड करने वाले हैं टू दी हाउस होल्ड्स एंड नॉट जस्ट टू देम, ऑल्सो टू दी कमर्शियल सेक्टर. So to summarize the entire topic, we've read about this gas pipeline, iska stretch kya hai, and what were the hurdles came there, and its history, and the entire region, and of course the most important, that is the benefit of this gas pipeline. That was all about this topic. Next up we have trans fats. We will approach this topic in a reverse manner. Means we will first understand कि trans fats होते क्या हैं, and then we will discuss as to what is the recent amendment done by FSSAI regarding the trans fats. So trans fats are unsaturated types. Okay, having spoken about unsaturated fatty acids, there are actually two types of fatty acids. Okay, saturated fatty acids and unsaturated, and the chemical difference the two of them possess is saturated fatty acids, they lack double bond between the individual carbon atoms, while the unsaturated fatty acids mein, there's at least one double bond in the fatty acid chain. Okay, so this trans fat are nothing but a form of fatty acid, the unsaturated fat associated with a number of negative health effects. If we talk about the types of trans fats, there are two types. The first one is naturally occurring trans fats. They're already present in the animals and the milk or the meat produced from those animals, right? जो milk होता है या फिर जो meat होती है उन जो animals से आती है, that product may contain these fats. Talking about the artificial trans fats, so they're formed when hydrogen is made to react with the oil to produce fat resembling pure ghee or butter, right? So basically when we add hydrogen to it, and it possesses a great risk of heart diseases than saturated fats, okay? Because saturated fat only raises the total cholesterol level, but trans fatty acids not only raises the total cholesterol level but also reduces the good cholesterol. और ये गुड कोलेस्ट्रॉल क्या है? सो बेसिकली दो टाइप्स के कोलेस्ट्रॉल होते हैं. द फर्स्ट वन इज HDL, that is high density lipoprotein, and the second one is LDL, that is low density lipoprotein. And HDL is considered as good cholesterol and LDL is of course the bad cholesterol. This is because HDL, that is high density lipoprotein, जो है वो कोलेस्ट्रॉल को हमारे लिवर तक कैरी करता है, where this cholesterol can be removed from our bloodstream before it builds up into our arteries. But this LDL, that is low density lipoprotein, on the other hand, takes cholesterol directly to our arteries, right? वो liver तक नहीं लेके जाता, वो directly हमारी arteries में लेके जाता है, and this can result into many health complications. For example, it can lead to erythrosclerosis, मतलब हमारी arteries block हो सकती हैं. It can even cause heart attack or stroke. So in order to mitigate this, one, the WHO planned to eliminate industrially produced trans fatty acids from the global food supply by 2023. And to achieve the same, if you remember, WHO has launched a comprehensive plan, जिसको हम replace कहते हैं, right? So this was the step taken by WHO. Now let us come back to our current part, that is the this amendment done by FSSAI. Okay? So the current permissible limit of trans fatty acid was 5%, which has now been capped to 3% for 2021 and 2% by 2022. All right. To summarize this, we have read about trans fats, we've read about saturated and unsaturated types, we've read about the types, that are the naturally occurring trans fats and the artificial ones. We've also read about the two types of cholesterol, HDL and LDL, and also the health complications and the risk associated with it. So yeah, that was all about this topic.
27 जून 2021 यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स की डेट है और IQRA IAS लेके आया है आप सभी के लिए यूपीएससी टेस्ट सीरीज. 3 जनवरी से हम शुरू करने जा रहे हैं हमारा टेस्ट सीरीज. 32 टेस्ट होंगे टोटल गाइज, 24 मॉड्यूल वाइज टेस्ट होंगे और 6 कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव टेस्ट अंडर द गाइडेंस ऑफ अवध ओझा सर, रिनोन्ड फैकल्टी ऑफ वाजीराम एंड रवि अवध ओझा सर की गाइडेंस में ये सारे टेस्ट कंडक्ट करा रहे हैं हम. तो हिस्सा बनिए इस यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स टेस्ट सीरीज का. 3 जनवरी से हम शुरू करने जा रहे हैं. विजिट कीजिए वेबसाइट www.iqraias.com फॉर मोर डिटेल्स.
Next up we have Agri Hackathon 2020. So what is it? It is basically a virtual gathering where discussions will be held pertaining to innovations in agriculture, and along with this there will be exchange of ideas on farm mechanization, precision agriculture, supply chain and food technology, waste to wealth, green energy, among others. So these are the things where ideas will be getting exchanged. Apart from this Agri Hackathon 2020 is organized by Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, Farmers Welfare in association with Pusa Krishi and ICAR, that is Indian Agriculture Research Institute, right? जो ICAR का ही एक पार्ट है. So there are, if we summarize, there are just 2 things you need to remember इस टॉपिक के बारे में, कि what is Agri Hackathon 2020, right? What is its aim and what is it aims, and what does it meant for. Also you just need to remember who organizes it. ठीक है, तो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर, ये आपको याद रखना है. जस्ट द 2 of these things you need to remember. That was all about this topic. Next up we have National Metrology Conclave. So what is metrology? Metrology is a science of measurement. Engineers know it better because they have this in their course. But हमारे लिए जो important है वो है कि National Metrology Conclave and its highlights. So in this topic we will be reading 3 major highlights of this conclave. But before that, this conclave was organized by CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and National Physical Laboratory, right? And the CSIR, which was established by Government of India in 1942 as an autonomous body, and it comes under Ministry of Science and Technology. But for our exam perspective, the 3 things are important here, the 3 highlights are important here. ये 3 चीज़ें ज़्यादा important है. The first one is National Atomic Time Scale. So this atomic time scale, which was developed by National Physical Laboratory, will be able to generate Indian Standard Time, right, with an accuracy of 2.8 nanoseconds, which means that that from now on Indian Standard Time is matching the International Standard Time with the accuracy range of less than 3 nanoseconds. Now let us understand what exactly this atomic time is. All right. So in simple words, this basically measures the actual length of a second. ठीक है? एक सेकेंड की एक्चुअल लेंथ को ये मेजर करता है एंड दीज एटॉमिक क्लॉक्स डेविएट ओनली 1 second in up to 100 million years, which means they're highly accurate. Now the question arises is कि what is the benefit of this? See, this accurate atomic time is essential in various fields, actually a lot of fields. For example, space and technology में ये help कर सकता है, right? Weather forecasting में it can help, disaster management, defense, and a lot of it. You just name it and it can help there. And not just that, this time scale will enable India becoming self-reliant in measuring the time within the range of nanosecond. तो ये था पहला हाईलाइट. सेकंड इज भारतीय निर्देशक द्रव्य. ये क्या है? सो दीज आर बेसिकली इंडियन रेफरेंस मटेरियल. इंडियन रेफरेंस मटेरियल क्या होता है? It is basically a quality benchmark material using which we can test and calibrate the things we will be making in future, right? तो इससे हम चीज़ों को ज़्यादा प्रिसाइजली बना सकते हैं. एंड द मेजर एडवांटेज ऑफ दिस वुड बी कि कोई भी चीज़ बनाते टाइम जो एरर्स की पॉसिबिलिटी होती है, उस एरर मार्जिन को वी कैन मिनिमाइज बिकॉज नाउ वी विल बी हैविंग अ रेफरेंस इन आवर हैंड्स, राइट? तो एक रेफरेंस को यूज़ करके हम कोई भी चीज़ बना सकते हैं and of course we can reduce the errors. And this is used in a lot of industries, like for example in heavy metals, pesticides, pharma, textiles, and a lot of it, right? जो थर्ड हाईलाइट है हमारे पास, द थर्ड फाइंडिंग है, दैट इज द नेशनल एनवायरमेंटल स्टैंडर्ड्स लेबोरेटरी. तो अगर आपने कभी अपना व्हीकल का पोल्यूशन कराया होगा, पोल्यूशन सर्टिफिकेट जो मिलता है, तो अगर आपने कभी अपनी गाड़ी का पोल्यूशन कराया होगा तो आपको पता होगा कि जो इक्विपमेंट वहाँ पर यूज़ करते हैं, उस इक्विपमेंट को बेसिकली मॉनिटर करेगी ये नेशनल एनवायरमेंटल स्टैंडर्ड्स लेबोरेटरी. तो ये इक्विपमेंट को चेक करने के लिए एक बेसिकली एक लेबोरेटरी है, राइट? यही 3 चीज़ें थी इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर आवर एग्जाम. टू समराइज दिस टॉपिक, नेशनल मेट्रोलॉजी कॉन्क्लेव है क्या, हमने पढ़ा, ठीक है? इट वॉज ऑर्गेनाइज बाय CSIR-NPL, we've read, and what was more important for our exam is these 3 findings जो हमने अभी पढ़ी. That was all about this topic. Next up we have TIHAN, that is Technology Innovation Hub on Autonomous Navigation and Data Acquisition System at IIT Hyderabad. This topic is important for our paper, GS paper 3, and also for our prelims, as application based questions are coming more in our exam. So today we are living in an era of digital technology, right? And we are moving towards more digitized future. So it is important that we make advancements good enough to stand on a global platform. And to achieve this, Department of Science and Technology, this department has started a mission called National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber-Physical System. This one, it was launched in 2018 by Department of Science and Technology, as I mentioned, right? And under this only, TIHAN has been sanctioned, which is India's first technology innovation hub for autonomous navigation system and data acquisition system set up by IIT Hyderabad. As a part of this, IIT Hyderabad has taken a magnanimous effort to develop the first of its kind state-of-the-art integrated test bed on autonomous navigation for terrestrial and aerial vehicles within the campus in the country, right? Now let us know about the features of this particular mission. So the features of this mission include that it will be providing the facilities like test tracks, road infrastructure वो provide करेगा, drones के लिए runways और उनकी landing areas भी वो provide करने वाला है, ठीक है? And not just that, the hub's focus sectors include intelligent, autonomous transportation and systems, agriculture, surveillance, and environmental and infrastructure monitoring. And this the hub will be available for the use by industries, research and development labs, academia conducting research and development in the broad area of autonomous navigation. So to summarize, we've read about TIHAN, कि ये है क्या, who has developed this or who is organizing it, right? And what are the features of this, right? The features are mentioned here, but I've already told you the features. So यही उसके features and that was all majorly about this topic. Next up, we have COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use. So finally, DCGI, that is Drug Controller General of India, the country's national drug regulator, has approved the COVID-19 vaccine of both Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech for restricted use in emergency situation. We shall further go into the details of it, and we will focus upon the term emergency situation here. See, to approve a vaccine, it takes many years. Sometimes it might take 6 to 8 years. But what happens in emergency situation? Emergency situations में क्या होता है? Like the current pandemic situation. So the regulatory authorities around the world have developed mechanisms to grant interim approval if there is a sufficient evidence. तो वो थोड़ा जल्दी करने के लिए they grant this approval if there are sufficient evidence is available. Let us now understand about these two vaccines. The first is Covishield. It is manufactured by Serum Institute of India based in Pune, right? Talking about its efficacy. So the overall efficacy of the vaccine is found to be 70.42%. The next the next vaccine is Covaxin. This is an indigenously developed vaccine manufactured by Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech, right? In collaboration with ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research. So it is an inactivated vaccine. Inactivated vaccine क्या होता है? Inactivated vaccine is also called killed vaccine, right? It is basically a vaccine consisting of virus particles या फिर bacteria या कोई भी any other pathogen basically that have been grown in the culture and then lose disease producing capacity. तो कोई भी pathogen को we grow it in a culture and we kill its disease producing capacity and then we use it, right? Now the next probable question could be who will be the first recipient or who will be the recipients. Firstly, the entire vaccination drive will be voluntary. मतलब अगर आपको vaccination लेनी है तो लो. If you don't want it, you can leave it. So it is entirely voluntary, right? The government has already announced that the first in line will be 3 crore workers in the forefront of India's battle against novel coronavirus, including the 1 crore health workers and the 2 crore frontline workers. And apart from them, it will also include 27 crore person above 50 years and person below age 50 but with associated comorbidities. So to summarize, we've read about what emergency use is. We've also touched upon the Covishield and the Covaxin, the two vaccines available, right? That was all about this topic. Next up we have Gangetic River Dolphin. Last week, we all must have seen a really, really disheartening and a really disappointing video where a Gangetic dolphin was beaten to death by a group of men. It was really cruel, it was really disheartening. But let's focus on the exam, the things which they might in our exam. So we will be reading about Gangetic River Dolphin. तो ये गंगा ब्रह्मपुत्र में मिलती है और उसकी ट्रिब्यूटरीज में भी मिलती हैं which lies in India, Bangladesh and Nepal. The key characteristics of Gangetic River Dolphin are they are larger than males, right? The female ones are larger than males and they are generally blind. तो फिर वो अपना prey कैसे catch करती हैं? So they emit ultrasonic sound which reaches the prey and that is how they get to know that the location of the prey, right? They always prefer deep water and fresh water, and the government of India has recognized them as a national aquatic animal and is the official animal of Indian city of Guwahati, right? Apart from this, to know about the IUCN status of the animal which is present in the news is always important for our exam. So the IUCN status is endangered for this animal, right? For Gangetic dolphin. और साइट्स के अपेंडिक्स 1 में ये फॉल करता है, ठीक है. इट possesses many threats as well, like for example direct killing as we have seen last week, habitat fragmentation by dams and barrages, right, and also by indiscriminate fishing. Talking about the government initiatives, so Wildlife Act protection, conservation, other conservation plans and Project Dolphin, again an important one. So, to quote, the initiatives taken by a government to protect any species can always fetch us extra marks in our mains examination. So, ये initiatives हमारे mains exam के लिए काफ़ी important हो जाते हैं. For our prelims, we must remember the IUCN status and the other status this particular species possess. So, to summarize, we've read about the characteristics and the features of this river dolphin, also the status and the government initiative, which we can quote in our mains exam. That was all about it. Next up, we have NCAVES India Forum. In this analysis, we will touch upon what NCAVES is, right, and what is the significance for India, and also the other relevant facts. Okay, so the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, that is MOSPI, is organizing a natural capital accounting and valuation of ecosystem services, that is NCAVES India Forum 2021. Okay, इसको organize कर रहे हैं MOSPI in collaboration with United Nations Statistics Division, European Union and UN Environment. And India is one of the countries taking part in this project, along with the 4 other countries that are Brazil, China, Mexico and South Africa. Now let us understand what this project is all about, what NCAVES is all about. तो NCAVES का basically ये aim है to advance the knowledge agenda on environmental economic accounting in countries like Brazil, China, Mexico, India and South Africa. Ecosystem accounting basically एक statistical framework है जो for organizing data. इसका aim है to account the benefits societies receive from ecosystem and their services. Now, NCAVES project has been launched by United Nations Statistical Division, the United Nations Environment Programme, the Secretariat of Convention on Biological Diversity and European Union, and this project is funded by European Union and will have a duration until the end of 2021. Now let us look at the objectives of this project, right? And we will understand them with India's perspective. So the first one is to present India's achievement in the domain of natural capital accounting. और ये natural capital accounting है क्या? It is the process of calculating the total stocks and flows of natural resources we have and the services we have in a given ecosystem or a given region. Also to prioritize the emerging opportunity for national capital accounting in India. और ये stakeholders को भी familiarize कराता है with the work undertaken by different international agencies in the area of NCA. Also ये एक platform provide करता है to the selected research institutions to present their research conducted in the valuation of ecosystem services, right? If we move further, so India में इसका implementation कैसे होगा? In India, NCAVE project is being implemented by MOSPI in close collaboration with Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and the National Remote Sensing Center. Let us now understand the most significant part of this topic, that is the key importance क्या है इस NCAVES project की, right? So इस project में participate करने के लिए एक तो we know MOSPI is implementing it. So what are the benefits MOSPI is going to get from this? तो इस project में participate करने से MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, को help हुई है ताकि वो अपने compilations of environment accountings as per the UN system of environmental economic accounting framework, that is UNSEEA, को शुरू कर सके और इंडिया को एक environmental statistics को अपने publications, that is NVSATs इंडिया में release कर पाए, ठीक है? Apart from that, there's this another significance कि NCAVES project has also helped India to develop India EVL tool, which is an essential tool, जो कि एक essential tool है because it will be it provides us a snapshot of values of various ecosystem services in different states of the country, right? So majorly that was all about this topic. हमने NCAVES के बारे में पढ़ा. We have read about the significance of this project, and who all organizes it, who all funds it, and all those things, right? That was all about it. Next up, we have Bureau of Indian Standards. So, recently, the Union Minister for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Commerce and Industry and Railways, Shri Piyush Goyal, attended the 74th Foundation Day, right? Celebrated by the Bureau of Indian Standards. So इस occasion पे he inaugurated this new thing called toy testing facility and announced the launch of certificate courses on assaying and hallmarking as well as quality control. But what was the motive behind this? So he did this so that the toy industry would be able to compete with the foreign manufacturers, and to prevent the influx of imported toys. And not just that, this step will also take care of the concerns regarding the safety of the toys and you see the possible detrimental effects on the health of children. Right? So that was all about the current aspect of this topic. Now let us know about the Bureau of Indian Standards, this body itself. इस organization को पहले हम Indian Standard Institution, that is ISI कहते थे, which was set up under Department of Industries and Supply and was registered under Societies Registration Act 1860. But this BIS came into existence in 1986 under BIS Act, right, and was established as a national standard body of India under BIS Act 2016, right? So just the two things you need to remember regarding this topic. Ek to, of course, the recent development, this toy testing facility, right? And apart from this, a little bit about this organization, this body, Bureau of Indian Standards. ये काफ़ी न्यूज़ में होती है, hence it becomes important for our exam, right? और इसका headquarter न्यू दिल्ली में है. That's majorly about this topic. Next up, we have bird flu. So, important thing first. For our prelims, what's important is to know कि ये होता किस चीज़ से है, whether it is caused by a virus or a bacteria or some kind of other pathogen. So it is a viral infection. Kindly remember this. It is a viral infection, right? They might ask you, they might give this thing in the options, right? So many states in the past time has confirmed the spread of this bird flu. The states like Kerala, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, and Himachal Pradesh, right? And the most common strain of the virus that causes this severe respiratory disease in birds is H5N1. There are others as well, like for example, there are other strains as well. For example, H7 and H8. But as of now, you just remember this particular one, H5N1. यही ज़्यादा important है to remember. Two important questions, two important areas to be addressed here is whether human transmission is possible and whether human to human transmission is important, which means कि bird से human तक वो transmit हो सकता है या नहीं, and then human to human transmit हो सकता है या नहीं, right? So if we talk about the first one, कि birds to human transmission possible है या नहीं, so yes, it is possible. But the second one, that is human to human transmission, is not known yet. But if it happens, it has a high mortality rate in humans, which is like almost 60%, right? And apart from this, according to WHO, there's a need to remain vigilant in animal and public health care sectors. And we need a one health approach. One health approach means कि a coordinated approach होनी चाहिए between the veterinary sectors and the health departments, right? And apart from that, there are various steps also which are taken by our government to contain the spread of this flu. Like for example, Himachal Pradesh में purchase and export of any poultry product has been prohibited. Along with that, Rajasthan में there's a town, Jhalawar town, उसमें तो section 144 लगा दी गई है in 1 kilometer radius after the mass death of crows there. ठीक है? So to summarize, we've read about what bird flu spread किससे होता है, and we've also addressed the two important questions, that is human transmission and I mean to say bird to human transmission and human to human transmission, right? That was all about it. Banana grit is our next topic. So banana grit या फिर banana granules has been developed from a raw bananas, right? And this product resembles रवा जिससे हम हलवा बनाते हैं. It is good for not the halwa, the banana grit I'm talking about. It is good for health conscious people, right? Because banana grit and its byproduct can be used to improve the gut health, as it utilizes the resistant starch of the banana. And recently, what has happened? Recently, scientists at the CSIR National Institute for Interdisciplinary Science and Technology in Kerala have come up with a new product. This new product, जिसके बारे में हमने अभी पढ़ा है. So there's nothing much you should remember about this topic. Just know a little bit कि banana grit है क्या, right? Or you can certainly remember कि इसके क्या benefits हैं for our gut, for our digestion, right? That was all about it. Next up, we have scientific expedition to Antarctica. See, polar regions are crucially important in answering key questions about the global climatic changes, its contribution towards global sea level rise, etc., etc. So, in order to understand all of this, India's 40th scientific expedition to Antarctica has been launched, under which 43 members on board 43 members on board the chartered ice vessel MV Vesely Golovnin. And it left the Goa port, and this team will reach there in 30 days. It should be noted here that the entire Indian Antarctic program is managed by NCPOR, that is National Center for Polar and Ocean Research, Goa. And the first program was launched in 1981, and now India has 3 permanent research based stations there, where in Antarctica, namely Dakshin, Gangotri, Maitri and Bharti. Out of them, Maitri and Bharti stations are currently functional, and this expedition will support the ongoing scientific projects on climate change, geology, ocean observation, electric and magnetic flux measurements, environmental monitoring, etc., etc. Right? So just know a little bit about this scientific expedition to Antarctica, and for our prelims, just know about these research based stations, the 3 of them, right? That was all about this topic. Next up, we have Pangolin. जितनी भी species news में होती हैं, make sure that you must remember at least 3-4 points about them. Prelims में they comes handy, right? तो pangolin है क्या? They are mammals and eater होते हैं, ठीक है? And they have a keratin scales की एक protective covering होती है उनके outer surface पे, right? And they are nocturnal. और अगर उनको कोई भी threat अगर वो sense करते हैं, तो they immediately curl into a tight ball and use their sharp scale tails to defend themselves, right? Apart from this, if we talk about the Indian pangolin, तो 11 to 13 rows होती हैं उनके जो scales की जो rows होती हैं उनके body पे, right? And उनकी, if we talk about the location, तो tropical forest में they're found. They are also found in open lands, grasslands, और काफ़ी सारे habitats में they're found, right? And they're widely distributed, but they're not found in arid regions or high Himalayas and the northeast regions. Talking about their IUCN status, which is always important, so they're endangered, just like the Gangetic river dolphin. Wildlife Protection Act 1972 में they fall under the Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So which schedule? Schedule 1 of WPA 1972. Okay, so that was all about the pangolins. You must remember. Next up we have school bag policy 2020. See, heavy school bags are a serious threat to the health and the well-being of a student, and keeping this in mind, the Directorate of Education has issued a circular asking schools to follow a new school bag policy 2020, which is released by NCERT, that is National Council of Educational Research and Training. For what is more important is to know about the features of this policy. Features of this new policy came in 2020. So I'll just read the main points of this policy. The first one is weight of the school bags. So ये different class के लिए different weights assign करे हैं. Like for example 1.6 to 2.2 kgs for the student of class 1 and 2, and maximum जो कैरी कर सकते हैं वो है 3.5 to 5 kg for class 11th and 12th. The next highlight of this policy is that teacher should take the responsibility कि वो बच्चों का school bag check करें every 3 months, and apart from this it should be the responsibility of the school management that they provide quality water so that बच्चों को extra water bottle ना carry करनी पड़े और वो extra weight ना उठाना पड़े, right? So just remember कि who released it and also the major highlights of this policy. Cool. Next up, we have Freight Business Development Portal. In my previous lecture, I have discussed in detail about dedicated freight corridors. If you haven't watched it, kindly go and see it. वहाँ पे मैंने काफ़ी detail में I've discussed everything about the dedicated freight corridors. Moving on to our present topic, that is Freight Business Development Portal. So, to convert this COVID crisis into an opportunity and to scale new heights in the freight transportation, and also to reduce the logistic cost, of course, and to enhance the ease of doing businesses, Indian Railways have taken several measures. And the recent milestone in the freight reform journey with the aim to enhance ease of doing business, Indian Railways brings this Freight Business Development Portal, this is a one-stop digital platform for our freight customers. It aims to replace the physical processes with online ones to minimize what? To minimize the need of human to human interactions. And not just that, this portal also provides a personalized dashboard to each one of our customers, which gives the customers access to their entire business with railways in a single view on a digital platform, right? Now a customer can raise a request without having to visit the railway premises, right? So these are the special benefits we are going to get using this portal. And with this we came this was the last topic of our day. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are enjoying your days, your new year. Study hard. Thank you so much.